Good afternoon, and welcome to another rancid episode of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. And now here's your corrosive and caustic host, Voice of Doom. Hello. Gonna do a little bit of connecting what I've learned vis-a-vis Buddhist enlightenment and the current fiasco that is human existence. And I am coming to a few conclusions, and the first thing I want to do before I do that is lambaste Petri dish a little bit more, because it just never ends. Just when I think I have run out of, bad things to say and criticism, I realize there's more. Now, child poverty. He talked about lowering child poverty. And I don't remember having any money when I was a kid. So when you look at it like literally, most kids are in poverty. I mean, technically. And I would imagine in his idea of saying we've lowered child poverty is we've given people $350 or $400 a month per child to help. And since that's technically going to the child, then the child is making a lot of money. That'll probably be taxed later on, who knows. But child poverty, these little buzzes, buzzwords, catchphrases, annoying. Are you going to give money away to people who are separated from their kids? Just imagine, your kids are taken away, they're gone. They're gone, like, oh, my kid is gone forever. Come on, let's get with it. That's not happening. And I already told you the reason why I endorse separation, because you don't know who the hell they are. How many times do I have to say it? Oh, this is your kid? Okay. Come on. So, absurdities, they keep on going back and forth with that because they know deep down that if anybody gets word that that kind of money is going out to people who snuck in here with their knapsacks, they're going to be going to Beverly Hills with their knapsacks, and they're going to be driving up there with their SUVs and their sedans, late model sedans, electric cars. And it's like, oh, new neighbors, they just got here from Honduras. All right, that's going to go over big. More lambastement. Well, let's see. What did I write down? Corinne Jean-Pierre. It's pretty cool. Good game. And she's doing her best. You have to be, I don't know if they're lawyers or if they learn, I just argue this side and that's it. And, you don't think about it on an emotional level. You just go, this is the side I argue for. We've done nothing wrong and everything is great. I kind of watched her. I was thinking about the little red-haired girl because she got COVID after being inoculated. And I'm not saying that was the cause. I'm just saying she got it. And supposedly the inoculation, alleviates and expiates the worse symptoms, condition. You won't go to the hospital, you won't die because you got the inoculation, but you still have to kind of worry because I think about Colin Powell. So, but that whole group, we have tools in our tool belt to fight inflation. What are those tools? Well, we'll get to that later. Referring one question to somewhere else. Well, you'll have to take that up with the Department of Justice. You'll have to take that up with the State Department. Or I have nothing more to add to what I've already said, which is nothing. But they all have the same thing, like maybe it was because these kids, and I'll call them kids, grew up in an age when the CRT was actually being taught in a subtle way, and they think that everybody's oppressed. And they're living in an old age because they were taught that things were bad, and so things are still bad. It's like people of certain color cannot go to the voting booth, and they got to do something about that. I mean, they got to do something about this rampant segregation of people where they can't go to the polling places. They won't give them any absentee ballots. They won't give them any ballots if there's a pandemic going on, which there will be. So they're living in the past. And they never want to get to the crux of it. First of all, it's irrelevant. Second of all, why do people act the way they act? Why is there so much crime in the inner city? Why? It's because the white guy is in charge. Now, come on. That's 60s and 70s crap. And we won't have time to even think about that at the rate we're going. Every time I talk about the doomsday that's upon us, I get a different perspective. And they say things I didn't even think about. It's like, oh, I think things are going to go bad really soon. And they're like, oh, you mean the volcano? I'm like, what volcano? Yeah, I saw news about Las Palmas and this and that, Canary Islands. I don't even hardly know where it's at. I think there's something going on in the Caribbean. And there's always, these disasters happen. And I've thought about Yellowstone and the fact that it's a supervolcano that is overdue to go off, but that's always things that's going to happen down the line. And America is exempt from total disaster. So, we've had a few volcanic eruptions, and I think that was an example of where, just common sense, precautions and scientific know-how of predicting made us not change the volcano. It still exploded. But we knew it was going to happen, St. Helens, and we evacuated everybody because they said it is going to explode. They didn't say, let's stop driving cars in Yakima, and that'll stop the volcano. So, not many people died, and it was a huge, horrid explosion. And if you go back into the archives and look at it, you'd see. I'm not even getting to what I wanted to get to. I'm saying, yeah, we can ameliorate climate disasters or geological disasters. But I never even thought about the volcanoes, and they said that it could cause a chain reaction of bad things, and I'm like, well, that's all we need. So that's one more thing that I didn't worry about, that now I'm kind of worrying about, and add to your worry. But, it's all a big mess. Now, how is this all my fault? I already told you why. I am the center of my own universe, and in my universe, all this crap is happening. And there's a lot of people that might be in the same boat with different permutations, so we all created this mess, basically. Karmic collective karma. And what am I going to do about it? Well, I want to explain a few things in the next 6 minutes. Or one big thing, but ties in everything I said about how life works into a neat little package. And it's called The Human Revolution. Can you read it? The light's glaring. And just one sentence. I don't want to say it from memory, even though I should know it. A great human revolution in just a single individual will help achieve a change in the destiny of a nation, and further will enable a change in the destiny of all humankind. Okay? So if it's all my fault, then I got to do something, and that means I got to overcome my weaker nature, overcome my undiscipline, overcome my laziness, my lack of volition, and perhaps hone down my perception, which I think is pretty good. It's not one of my weaknesses. And conception might be bad, but volition's very bad. And I'm weak. I have habits, and I have to get rid of them, and that's my human revolution. Because it's hard. It's not something like I'm going to give up eating celery. I could do that for the rest of my life with ease. It's like I want to give up going for that little pot of gold, and I'm going to give up, being kind of inebriated most of the time, and I'm going to give up, wasting my time and having lofty goals and not following through with them because I'm too busy boofing around. That's my human revolution. Now, everybody has that. And if everybody works on themselves, self-actualization, as Frankl, or whatever his name was, said, all kinds of philosophies that help to, improve yourself. And, everybody has the things they know that are bad. Different people. My kid and I were talking about it today. And this is the kid that's not exactly philosophical. That was Max, who you saw in a previous episode. And we were talking about trying to overcome and how hard it is. And that's the only way we're going to get through and be ultimately happy. Because we've not only overcome our minds, we've not let our minds master ourselves, but been the master of our minds, but we've mastered our weaknesses and overcome them. It gives you a great sense of accomplishment. And I got to work on it. Big time, because my time is growing short in, the overall math of it. And I don't want to waste it. I want to get things done. And I want to have lofty goals, and then I want to start doing them. And one of my lofty goals right now, since I've done a few of the things I wanted to do, and I got the reward that I wanted for it, and realized the reward was not the best. It just wasn't my ultimate goal in the, you get what you want, and that's not really what you want, maybe. That's another story, but point is, my new lofty goal is these 10, because they've been forgotten. They're going to be expunged from human memory for obvious reasons. The big machine made a huge error, and they want to downplay it. And they want to make sure that there's not much memory of it. Nobody remembers Emmeriah, Farzad, or Faisal, and the rest of them. Sumaya and Hadaya and Benjamin and Arwin and Faisal. Farzad. Nobody's going to remember their names because they've been expunged from the internet. Nobody wants, the powers want to really brush it under. And it's not acceptable to me. So I'm going to do something about that. And I'm going to do pretty much the only thing I can do to make any kind of an impact. And it won't. But I can have faith that maybe something will strike a nerve. So we'll see how that little project goes. And see if we can keep their memory alive. And it'll keep a bad thing alive. Bad behavior, and it'll keep people thinking that we got a long way to go. Human revolution leads to the revolution and improvement and a change in the destiny of a nation. Everybody work together by themselves. You know what I mean? Everybody work on themselves, but everybody do it, and guaranteed the world will be better. I mean, I could run this place a lot better than some people were seeing. Just with those philosophies alone. Everybody do your best and try to overcome your weaknesses. It's so simple and hard. Simple and hard. More things, negations in Buddhism that you keep running across. It's simple and it's hard. It's simple to understand how hard it is that I have to take responsibility for the damn planet. So I think I've said enough. I think I said a lot. And I'm going to leave it at that and bid you a fond afternoon. Goodbye.